It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello, everybody. Ernie Johnson here. Shaq's here. Kenny's here. Welcome to this edition of 2K Sports. Our featured matchup tonight out in Toronto, where the Raptors will be going up against the New York Knicks. For New York, they've had a tough time over the last few weeks. 3-7 in their last 10 games. We'll see if they can make amends tonight. Kawhi Leonard in action tonight, the winner of multiple Defensive Player of the Year awards. Shaq, for wing defenders, where do you have him ranked on the all-time list?
Well, I shook his hand the other day, and his hands are as big as mine, Ernie. But to answer your question, I think he's in the conversation with Pippen and Jordan.
And Jordan, wow. Now, he's one of the best perimeter defenders ever, but those guys are in a company because they've done it on a big stage, Shaq. But he's very intelligent. I love the way he approaches the game defensively. But doing it on that big stage consistently as Pippen and Jordan did, whew.
That's saying something.
That's saying a lot.
Time for tip-off. We send it to Kevin Harlan. He's got the call.
We're in the city of Toronto, the home of the Raptors, where we will be broadcasting today's action live. Kevin Harlan here along with analysts Greg Anthony and Steve Smith, and we'll be hearing from DA along the sideline all game long. Looking at the last game for the New York Knicks, it was a loss to the Hawks, and that was a real body blow for them. They got taken apart both offensively and defensively.
And if there's one aspect of the game that really stood out for me, it was the rebounding. Basketball is about possessions, and you saw a noticeable difference in terms of the effort both teams were putting forth.
And that was the primary difference maker to me. Their lack of getting boards is what ultimately buried them in that game.
Well, Smitty, tonight a lot of experience on the floor. Guys who have been going up against each other for a very long time.
You have to have those wily vets. I know young guys get up and down, athleticism, but the vets, they just know how to play, especially when you have one of those experienced guys coming off the bench. He could be very key to making a run and also changing the course of the game.
And guys look for ways to kind of get up for a game, don't they? They like the individual rivalries they see.
Yeah, they love it. You get a chance to look down there and see another guy you've been going against each other for years. It's you versus him in somewhat of a game within the game.
And now the New York Knicks starters. Vonleh is out there with Robinson. Then it's Lee. Then it's Thomas. And it's Burke in at the point guard. Now here's Burke. And there's the foul. It goes on Serge Ibaka. That's his first foul. Thomas against Green. Bounce pass, Thomas. 5 on the clock. Takes the 13-footer. Offensive rebound. Robinson. It's good, and he makes his first shot of the game.
And where's the help? Obviously, a missed rotation, something they're going to want to patch up.
Only the first quarter. Guys are getting in a groove, but communication on the defense has to be better.
Now, here is Ibaka. Pass to Valanciunas. A shot by Lowry. Wide open. Drills it from outside. Lowry's got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball. Burke kicks to Robinson. Vonleh at the elbow. Lee outside. And they come right back with their own three-pointer.
And that's from beyond, guys. Right back at you.
This is looking more like an all-star game right now. Everyone launching from range.
Now, here's Lowry. 17 points for him last game against Sacramento. And Ibaka slams it in.
I'll tell you, for a veteran, Ibaka still gets sky high on these alley-oops.
And that was an Unleashed Chaos moment indeed. What a spectacular play. Sponsored by Under Armour Hover Havoc. Burke with it. Lowry covering. Right side Robinson. Back to Burke. Pass to Vonleh for three. Green with the rebound.
I'll tell you, the defense dodging a bullet right there. That's his shot.
At the elbow, it's Ibaka. Good ball movement here by the Raptors. Valanciunas passes to Leonard. Lowry for three. Knicks with the rebound. This game against Toronto here, it's their first look at the Raptors.
Two division rivals facing off tonight. They'll see one another 4 times this season.
Now, here's Vonleh. He's coming off a 10-point game against Atlanta.
Also, you have to mention the rebounding, another area where he excelled. They already got into a nice flow. 4 for 5 from the field.
First personal foul.
Kyle Lowry, the Villanova alum, does everything you want from a point guard. Very complete player on both ends of the floor.
Mind the lanes. Mind the lanes. One shot.
Well, with Lowry, as you said, Steve, he gives you a little bit of everything.
One of the best rebounding point guards in the league. Doesn't rack up huge assist numbers, but a very intelligent passer. Good assist to turnover numbers. Smart with the basketball.
Now here's Lee. Last game he had 12. He gets it in there. Raptors leading by 3. Here's Lowry. He has 6. Outside Leonard. There's the pass to Valanciunas. And he gets it to go.
When you earn your keep inside, you get used to fighting through contact. Valanciunas getting it done.
Burke kicks to Lee. Passes it to Burke. Bangs home the trifecta.
You can see there the defender allows himself to get picked.
You know, it's all about effort. Sometimes you're going to get hit on hard screens. You just have to fight through them.
Now, here's Lowry. Steady offensive output from him, averaging more than 16 points a game. Shot clock at 6. Green finds Lowry. From deep three-point range, the Raptors rebound. And Trey Burke gets the whistle that time. That's foul number 2 for him.
Already his second foul here in the first makes it a tough decision whether to leave him in or not.
Emmanuel Moutier's checked in for Burke. New York on D, trailing by 2. It's good. Valanciunas has got his second bucket of the game to go.
That's where Valanciunas is a handful, inside and on the block.
Moutier passes to Robinson. Kicks to Vonleh. And stolen by Kyle Lowry. And the shot is good. And so Lowry will bring it up for the Toronto Raptors. Outplayed in the previous game on their schedule, losing to Sacramento.
And unfortunately for them, they just ran into a hot shooting team and really had no answers.
Well, they still should have been more active on defense, giving those guys a run for their money.
All right, now let's find out what head coach Nick Nurse had to say to David Aldridge. David.
Thanks, Kevin. Well, we talked about his team's game plan coming into the matchup. I addressed the shot blocking and the demoralizing effect that team has, and he said that could be a factor psychologically as well as physically. The key for us is to play unselfishly, draw the help, and kick the ball to the open man. If we execute our offense well, we'll be fine. Kevin?
Thank you, David. So their focus is squarely on the opponent today, in particular that defense they have to contend with.
And I just wonder if they'll try to solve the problems this defense poses by keeping the tempo quick, trying to strike early in the shot clock.
You know, I think a more patient approach would be smart. Concentrate on shot selection and ball movement rather than tempo.
Here's Robinson after the made shot from Kyle Lowry. The 3, just 5 to shoot. He's off on that one, so the Raptors will take it the other way. Thomas against Leonard. Lowry dishes to Green. To the inside, and stolen by Vonleh. Moutier looking around. Fast break Toronto. Lowry's got the ball. Robinson pulls it in. Knicks trail by 7. And the foul on Jonas Valanciunas. That's his first foul. Siakam is checked in for Serge Ibaka. And then for New York, Mario Hezonja comes in for Lance Thomas. And Tim Hardaway Jr. subbed in for Lee. To the middle. Leonard with the steal. Fast break. Here come the Raptors. That's good from Lowry on the assist from Leonard. 10 points for Kyle Lowry.
We will talk about feed the hot hand. That's what they're doing this quarter, which is why they've been able to maintain momentum.
And the Knicks decide to take their first time out here. Well, not too long ago, Kyle Lowry was a free agent in high demand, Steve. Toronto signed him to that big contract, and it's worked out for both of them.
You know, the Raptors believed in Lowry and were willing to pay up to keep him. They see him as a vital part of this team now. Lowry took some time to mature as a player, but now it's paying off.
Greg Monroe, he's checked in for Toronto. Fred VanVleet comes in for Danny Green. Lowry kicks to VanVleet. Back to Lowry. Pass to Leonard. And that basket pushes the lead to double digits. And it's an 11-point Raptor lead.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They keep getting it in the paint and continue to score consistently.
Right side Hardaway. Off the mark, and the drought continues.
Tough miss. He found some space inside the arc, but he could deliver.
Here's VanVleet. He kicks it to Lowry. Pass to Leonard. Over Hezonja. Kept alive. Monroe. Nice work on the boards, paying off with the basket. And the Raptors lead by 13.
They've wasted no time settling into their offense.
They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've gone a long time without a bucket.
New York calls timeout. Steve, we know plenty of NBA players who are still inconsistent at the free throw line. Just how much of a skill issue is free throw shooting and how much is mental?
You know, I think for a lot of guys that are up in size, just being able to shoot the basketball. I tried it shooting a volleyball when your hands are so big, and that is tough, and that's a skill. But then I see a lot of guys mentally, you can tell is bothering them because they change their routine from year after year. They keep finding different ways. They have to get comfortable, put in the work, and just stick to it. I think they go to too many different these shooting coaches saying, I have a quick fix, and usually it doesn't work, the quick fix.
Now here is Hardaway. Kawhi Leonard unable to get his shot to go. Hardaway kicks to Moutier. And what was that about? Not a good shot right there. Outside Leonard. The pass to Wright. Here's Siakam. He's been patient so far. Nothing on the scoreboard yet. Got a piece of it. Hardaway finds Moutier. And Fred VanVleet is going to pick up the foul. That's his first foul.
That's his first personal foul.
Hardaway against Wright. Hardaway passes to Vonleh. Yes, that goes in. Vonleh's got his second basket of the game.
He turned on the Jets. As soon as he got that screen and went right to the hole. Great decision making there.
And the call will be against Emmanuel Moutier. That is his first foul of the game. And the Knicks making a change here. Baker's checked in.
Ron Baker.
Here's Van Vliet inside. Here's Monroe. And he floats in for the easy two. Credit the assist on that one.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
Baker kicks to Hardaway. To the paint. And it's Robinson that time on the assist from Hardaway.
Great eye contact. Guys working in tandem in the paint.
Toronto leading by 9. Pass to Siakam. Back to Van Vliet. Pass to Leonard. 3-pointer. Not happening with that shot. He's put up 5 and made 2.
Well, you have to like their work on the boards, Kevin, particularly here to start the game.
Hardaway kicks to Baker. Puts up a 3. Toronto grabs the miss. A wide open look here for Wright. Drills the 3-pointer. Wright's got himself on the board with 3 there.
Defensively, they've been a step slow here to start.
Baker passes to Hardaway. And the foul called on Pascal Siakam. That is his first foul of the game.
That's his first personal foul.
Robinson kicks to Baker. Back to Robinson. Just 5 on the clock. Here's Azania.
And trailing here in the first, you'd like to see them be a little more aggressive on the offensive glass.
Wright finds Monroe. Some nice ball movement here by the Raptors. Back to Siakam. Knocks it loose. Left side, Leonard. Over Hazonia. The offensive rebound. Monroe's shot is good.
You know, it's going to be tough to win when you give the other team second and third opportunities to score the ball.
Some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, right now you just need a bucket to get some momentum.
Hardaway kicks to Robinson. Count it. Robinson's got 6 points.
Yeah, the chemistry has been terrific. Really impressed with their offensive execution.
Wright outside. Feeds it to Leonard. And he gets the whistle for the 3-second call. Trier, he's checked in for the Knicks.
Alonzo Trier.
Knicks trail by 12. Poked away. Now here's Leonard. He's covered closely. And a bit of a battle here for the ball. The official signals a jump ball here. And the Knicks with possession here. Hazonia with the ball. Shoots over Leonard.
Locked down. Leonard, a smothering force on the defensive end.
And so it's the Toronto Raptors enjoying a 12-point lead as they talk things over during the break. Their strategy has been clear tonight. Work the ball inside, get shots in the paint, and now they are scoring with ease. And we'll be back with you shortly. Now a veteran in the NBA, Serge Ibaka, talked about his role on this team.
I like to do all those little things, running up and down, blocking shot, straight the floor, making open shot, rolling the basket, screen, those dirty work. I like to do that.
And Ibaka, Greg, a great complementary player.
And you like his combination of size and skill, able to impact the game at both ends on a high level.
And glad to have you with us, folks. Second quarter of basketball. This game has not exactly been neck and neck, but plenty of time left in this one. And a very convincing performance from the Raptors so far.
I tell you what, that first quarter, you can see the game plan is a commitment to offensive rebounding.
That's their mindset, and these extra possessions have been converted into a lead.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade as the second quarter gets going. On the court for the Knicks, They've got Vonleh. Baker out there with Trier. Then it's Robinson. And it's Hezonja in at the 3 spot.
And really keeping the ball hopping around here offensively.
And so Van Vliet will bring it up for the Raptors. Following this one, they get to host the Pelicans. They'll find themselves in the middle of this string of 3 straight at home. Siakam passes to Leonard. Here's Trier. Shot goes down. Very quick possession right there.
And the crisp passing has opened things up for them offensively.
Right outside. We're about a minute and a half into the second quarter now. Leonard finds Wright. 6 on the shot clock. Here's Monroe. Excellent D that time from Robinson. Knicks trail by 10. And Fred Van Vliet is going to pick up the foul. That'll be his second foul of the game.
Second foul. You don't want to pick up his third in this half. We'll see if they'll make a substitution or not.
And some changes here for the Raptors. Serge Ibaka is checked in for Siakam. And it's Green in for Kawhi Leonard. Thomas checked in for New York. Trey Burke comes in for Ron Baker. Now here's Burke. He had a 15-point outing in their last game against Atlanta. Robinson passes to Trier. Unloads from 9. And it's Van Vliet with the rebound. Raptors leading by 10. And Fred Van Vliet, the Wichita State product, took some time getting into the NBA, but my goodness, is he a factor now for this team?
You know, I love the way Van Vliet can create space with his movement and getting into a defender. Great at reading a defense and finding the right play. He thinks several steps ahead of the play when he's on the floor.
Here's Trier, and the lead is down inside single digits. Trier's got his second basket. Toronto's gone 3 of 6 tonight when they've let it fly from downtown. Right against Thomas. Thomas with the block. Now here's Burke. Looking at his point production, he averages almost 11 points a game.
Nice pass there to set that basket up.
The Raptors have gone 1 of 3 to start out the second quarter. Monroe dishes to Green. Monroe against Robinson. Pass to Van Vliet. Drops in the tray. Van Vliet's got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game.
I can't understand in the midst of a game you leave an elite shooter this wide open.
Thomas gets a wide open look, and he wills that one in, sinking right through off the back iron.
Moving it around, 8 of their last 10 coming off assists.
And Wright kicks to Monroe. Floats it up for Monroe. And Craig Monroe with the slam.
Oh, and the lead gets bigger on a ridiculous offensive sequence.
That dunk alone would have been spectacular. Never mind it coming at the end of an alley-oop. And now, here's Hezonja. He had a 15-point outing in their last game against the Hawks in Atlanta.
I mean, defensively, you have to close out harder than that.
Now, Wright. Out to the right wing. Monroe down low. Robinson on him. On the wing, Green. Hezonja defended. And it's Green missing. New York with the ball. They're on a 13-5 run. And the shot is good. The Raptor lead has been cut down now to just 4 in the basket from Hezonja. The Raptors have gone 50% from the floor in the second quarter, 3 of 6. Ibaka goes in. Played in with a nice touch off the glass. And the Raptors lead by 6.
And the defense there unable to beat Serge to the spot. Good finish off contact.
Burke with it. Now Wright defended. Now the pass to Hezonja. Now here's Burke. Defense right on him. Here's Trier. No good on the triple. Raptors leading by 6. Van Vliet kicks to Ibaka. And the Raptors hit again from deep.
Sound shot mechanics for Serge. He has confidence shooting it from out there.
And it's Burke with the ball for the Knicks. Outside Robinson. Passes it to Hazanya. Now here's Burke, guarded by Green. It's stolen by Green. And here is Wright. Pass to Green. Out left to the wing. Monroe down low. Guarded by Robinson. Right from outside. Schroeder with the rebound.
Rough start to this game. Hits one bucket in the first and nothing here in the second.
Robinson finds Burke. New York moving it around. Here's Trier. New York, no good that time either.
A slight advantage for them in the rebound department, but that oftentimes is all it takes.
Pass to Wright, takes a three. It's rebounded by New York. Robinson's got his 5th rebound in this one. Here's Trier. And he can't stop this drought. Another miss. Steve, with Toronto being the lone team in Canada in the NBA, they represent a lot for the nation's basketball fans.
Canada has taken a big step forward in their basketball program. More high draft picks are Canadian and more are on the way. The success, in my opinion, of the Raptors over the last several years has definitely had an impact on Canadian basketball.
Time call here. The Knicks decide to talk it over.
And look, you never want to see a team gut you this way. Really a good timeout.
Some of this is just a matter of toughness, a willingness to play physical inside, something we're not seeing.
Jonas Valanciunas, he's checked in for Toronto. Lowry comes in for DeLon Wright. Lee kicks to Moutier. And the foul called on Danny Green. That is his first foul of the game. Outside Hardaway. Over Ibaka.
What do you love about Serge on this end? Has the lateral quickness and hops to really challenge shooters.
Here's Van Vliet. Taking a look at his stats, he's averaging around 9.5 points a game. Lowry passes to Van Vliet. And the Raptors hit again from deep.
Man, the triples keep falling, guys. That's 3 in a row.
Knicks trail by 15. Moutier with the ball. He's been quiet so far. Still no points in the game. And the foul called on Danny Green. That'll be his 2nd foul of the game. Kawhi Leonard is checked in for the Raptors. Longley's checked in for New York. The pass to Moutier. Lee kicks to Vonleh. 6 on the shot clock. Passes it to Hardaway. And the foul on Jonas Valanciunas. That's foul number 2 for him.
That's his 2nd personal foul.
Now here's Moutier, while recovering. Just 5 to shoot. Tipped away. Now here's Green. He had a 15-point outing in their last game against the Kings in Sacramento. Thomas against Leonard. That one doesn't go. Excellent D from Thomas. Lee against Valanciunas, trying to end the drought. Moutier kicks to Vonleh.
Kawhi Leonard. That's his first personal foul.
The Knicks shooting their first free throws of the game on this trip to the line.
At the line for 2.
shooting 2, gentlemen.
And he knocks down the first one. The NBA always evolving, Steve. What do you like to see in a big man coming through the ranks these days with the kind of game we've got in front of us?
Well, I think right now a lot of these big guys, they have to be versatile, especially on the defensive end. We talk so much about the big shooting threes, but I think big guys right now got to be able to switch on pick and rolls, being able to guard the smaller guys, and I think also you still have to have that toughness. But I would love, Kevin, to see somebody come in and just dominate on the low block, and our entire game changes because this guy can win a championship being a low post player.
But you really think that's going to happen?
No, not at all.
Now Hardaway following the miss by Kyle Lowry from deep. Here's Lee. Kicks to Thomas. Lee with the ball. Leonard picks him up. And it's off the back rim. No good. Raptors leading by 14. Now Lowry. He's got 10. Outside Leonard. And here's Lowry. Back to Leonard. Launches a three. It's rebounded by Vonleh. They could use a big shot here to get this offense going.
Too many empty possessions. Right now, they need a basket.
Hardaway kicks to Moutier. Clock at 6. It's good. He scores. That's his first basket after missing his first 2 attempts. Now 1 for 3.
He turned on the Jets. As soon as he got that screen and went right to the hole. Great decision making there.
Now here's Green. He has 5. Lets the 3 fly. Rebounded by Hardaway. Knicks trail by 12. Down low. And stolen by Kyle Lowry. He kicks it to Valanciunas. Pass to Green. Toronto working the ball around now. They could use a bucket. The putback. It's good on the putback.
The persistence of Valanciunas paying off in a big way on the glass. He is just a tremendously hard worker.
Now here's Moutier. He's guarded closely. Pass to Hardaway. Kicks it to Vonleh. 5 to shoot. Here's Moutier. Poked loose. And then Thomas with the jam.
Just a terrific effort on the offensive glass. That's how they're going to cut into this lead.
And Greg, a dunk like that is sure to give them a spark. Now here's Lowry. He's got 10. Leonard. That falls. Nice feed that time from Kyle Lowry. That's 7 points for Kawhi Leonard.
I love it, Kawhi. When you have skills from the mid-range, you don't need to force anything.
1 second separating the shot clock and game clock. Outside Hardaway. Thomas trying to break loose. That one's good, and the Raptor lead is cut down to 12 on the bucket from Hardaway.
And that's just a great individual play right through the teeth of the defense.
And so it's Toronto up by a dozen here at the end of the quarter. And more than anything, their three-point shooting is what sparked them. A fantastic night from long range so far. And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.
Thanks very much. Jonas, you guys got off to a strong start. How important was it to set the tone early?
You know, we came out with a different energy. We said it's enough to struggle from the start. You know, we got to focus and play good starts.
That is where it all starts. Thanks for your time. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks for the great interview, David. And we'll be back for the third quarter of basketball following halftime.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, Hoop fans. NBA Halftime Show on 2K Sports. EJ, Shaq, Jet. Kyle Lowry had a huge first quarter. He had 10 points, 4 steals, and 2 assists. And let's get your thoughts, big fella, on the Raptors.
Well, Kenny knows about this. I used to do this to his team all the time. Take advantage of you down low. Mismatch. Barbecue chicken alert. Make good entry passes. That led to some good looks, obviously a lot of points. When you control the paint, Ernie, you control the game. I was the master of controlling the paint. Shaquille.
And over to Kenny. What'd you think about New York?
It looked like they were shooting threes blindfolded. Sometimes you could get cold, but that was atrocious. It was scary. But they also looked scattered out there, and I think that disorganization was the main issue for them missing those shots. They need to establish themselves better into a better rhythm in the second half and avoid relying so heavily on the three-point shot.
And that's going to do it for us here. The second half of action is coming your way.
Welcome back to Canada. The famous Toronto sign here in Nathan Phillips Square, just in front of City Hall. And with a big gap on the scoreboard, the second half begins with very different goals for these teams. One side trying to mount a comeback, one side trying to protect their lead. Kyle Lowry has just been sensational.
And every team needs this, a guy who challenges the defense with that slashing ability.
You know what? So many teams focus on the perimeter and alley-oops. It's important to have someone who can work that in-between area.
And as we dive into the second half, we'll find out if the next 2 quarters are any different from the first 2. So far, it has been a runaway. Inside pairing is Ibaka and Valanciunas. Kyle Lowry and Danny Green are the guard tandem. And it's Leonard in at the 3, the small forward. That's Nick Nurse's 5 as we get into the second half. And it's Lowry with the ball, brings it up for the Toronto Raptors. At the elbow, it's Ibaka. And the pass to Leonard. Goes back up. He lays it in. Leonard's got 9.
Great anticipation. He has great hands. Kawhi gobbles up second chance opportunities.
Burke kicks to Robinson. Lowry against Lee. And 2 free throws coming up. Unable to get that one to go with all the contact. Kyle Lowry picks one up there. The Knicks have shot 2 free throws, and they're 1 of 2 so far.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. Loop shots.
That free throw from Lee is good. And Courtney Lee out of Western Kentucky, a consistent 3-and-D veteran.
And you know, more of a journeyman's career, but I'll tell you what, he's a winner and competes, does those little things, and, boy, he makes some big shots.
And both free throws good for Lee.
This is where he feels 100% comfortable taking all the free points he can get.
Lowry finds Ibaka. Back to Lowry. Passes it to Leonard. Fires for 3. Basket number 5 goes in. He's now 5 of 12 from the floor.
You know, he attracts a lot of defensive attention, and that enables Lowry to create open looks for his teammates.
Here's Burke. He has 5. Pass to Lee. Shoots the 3. Outside for Thomas. It's stolen by Ibaka. And here comes Leonard leading the fast break over Thomas. And Leonard gets it to go on the assist by Lowry. 14 points for Leonard.
A solid beginning to this second half offensively. 3 for 4 from the floor.
Now here's Burke. Lowry covering. Thomas outside. New York, no good that time either. Raptors leading by 15. To the middle, and stolen by Thomas. On the wing, Lee. He's covered by Leonard. We always hear about the brotherhood of the NBA. Talk a little bit about the unique bond that you NBA players, Steve, share.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that brotherhood is something special, Kevin, because there are guys that's going through some of the same situations you've been through, especially when you get a chance to talk to some of the veterans. And then the younger guys, when you become a vet, you share all that knowledge. And then what I love about it, that brotherhood, even when you retire, you get a chance to still keep in touch. And you see the evolutions of a lot of those players' families. You see their kids grow, and you love to still be a part of that unique situation.
That free throw from Lee is good. That one falls, so he hits both of them. Green with the ball. 5 points in the game. Ibaka outside. Back to Green. Pass to Lowry. From deep. Burke grabs the miss.
Just not feeling it from beyond the arc. Sometimes that happens. He's trying to shoot his way out of it.
A touch over 2.5 minutes of basketball played here in the third quarter. Raptors leading by 11. Outside Leonard. Back to Lowry. Fires the three. Count it. Number 5 from the floor this game. He's now 5 of 11.
Having a lot of trouble stopping the three-point shot.
New York calls timeout.
When you think back to 2014, Kawhi was named an All-Star, Defensive Player of the Year, Finals MVP, broke out as a true superstar.
And Toronto making a change here. Van Vliet's checked in. And then for New York, Hezonja, he's checked in for Lance Thomas. And it's Ron Baker in for Lee. Stolen. Outside Lowry. Van Vliet with the bucket. Van Vliet's got 5 now. Smitty, as you were saying about Leonard, only 2 other players in league history had obtained all 3 of those honors in a single season.
And those other 2, Jordan and Hakeem Olajuwon, have been the only ones to do it. But Leonard did it at a very young age. Maybe the most amazing thing, Leonard still just entering his prime.
Clock at 4. Count that one. And that's now 9 points for Trey Burke.
The beauty of the teardrop, very difficult to really contest.
Now here's Leonard. Hezonja defending. Leonard dishes to Lowry. Here's Van Vliet. He's got 5. No good with the triple. Now here's Burke. Defense right on him. Hezonja kicks to Robinson. Now the pass to Burke. New York needs to get off a shot. Here we go, all alone. Here's Van Vliet. Throws down the breakaway jam.
Ooh, quick hands on the steal and then just bad hops on the slam.
Great sequence for them defensively and offensively.
Terrific defensive instincts to come away with that one, and he showed no hesitation in how he completed that transition opportunity.
Oh, that's terrific defense there. That's how you protect the rim.
Leonard the pass to Ibaka. Leonard kicks to Lowry. Back to Leonard. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Here's Van Vliet. The Knicks pull it in.
Yeah, and even with his range, that one might be asking a little too much.
Well, the truth is, he probably makes this shot a little more often than he should, so it's hard to resist.
The Knicks have shot a good percentage from the free throw line so far. They've made 5 out of 6.
At the line for 2.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
And he knocks down the first one. The NBA is so financially stable right now, Steve. What's it been like watching this growth for the league overall?
You know, I've loved it because I think the partnership has been phenomenal. The league is growing both for players and also organization. They've done a nice job of getting a chance to hammer out some of these issues to making it worthwhile financially for the league and also financially for the players.
And they came out of the locker room after halftime with a much more physical approach than what we saw in that first half.
Now here's Leonard. 14 points for him. And the baseline jumper, no good. Here's Baker, guarded by Wright. It's stolen by Ibaka. Left side, Leonard. The kick out to Wright. Pass to Van Vliet. Just 5 on the clock. Monroe up and in on the layup. Monroe's got 12 points in the game.
I'm sorry, that's poor defense down low again. It's been a mismatch thus far in the paint.
Outside, Robinson. To the inside, and it's Robinson with the jam.
And no doubt they'd love to see him get a lot more of those opportunities.
And that deficit will go away quickly if he does, Greg. Here's Van Vliet. 7 points in the game. And stolen by Burke. That one is good. He's only missed 1 shot of his 6 taken on the floor.
I'll tell you, he is scorching the Nets this quarter. Maybe that'll help wake up some of his teammates.
Wright looking around. Fade away, and it's Leonard. That time on the assist by Wright. 16 points for Leonard.
See, in this half, I feel like he's a much different shooter. Calm, focused, and letting things come to him.
Here's Burke, and the Knicks getting another bucket right there.
Yeah, one of the few bright spots for his team. I mean, he's had a very efficient offensive performance.
Overall, it hasn't been pretty for his team, but he has shot the ball well.
Monroe finds Leonard. The second chance effort. The kick out to Wright. Toronto working the ball around now. Ibaka, no luck. Knicks trail by 12. And now, here's Hazonia. He has 7. Here's Van Vliet. Misses off the right iron. For New York, they've gone 6 of 9 from the floor here in the second half. They've got to be happy with that. Pass to Burke. And Fred Van Vliet is going to pick up the foul. And that'll be his 3rd foul so far. Siakam is checked in for Serge Ibaka. Tim Hardaway Jr. is checked in for New York. Emmanuel Mudiay comes in for Ron Baker. Now, here's Mudiay. Defense is right there. And plenty of contact on the shot. So, 2 free throws coming up. And there's the foul. It's called on Toronto. This is his first free throw of the game.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
That free throw, no good.
And still trying to find his footing in the league. Mudiay must show improvement in his shooting moving forward.
Trier, he's checked in for New York. So he comes up empty, missing both. Raptors leading by 12. And that one's good. Wright's got 5.
And they're passing the ball very crisply here.
Here's Trier. 6 points for him. Outside Hardaway. Here's Trier. 5 to shoot. Stolen by Monroe. Here's Leonard, and finished off by Leonard.
One thing about Kawhi, when he's driving, he eats up real estate fast with those long strides.
Now, Moutier, taking a look at his stats, he's averaging around 7.5 points a game.
Not sure of the thought process on that one. Really bad shot selection.
Well, you're playing for the team, not just yourself. They needed much better execution that trip down the floor.
I love his shot selection today. He set the bar for the rest of the team.
He kicks it to Hardaway. Pass to Vonleh. Moutier with the ball. Wright's there. Moutier with the basket.
This is where it's important to have guys looking for opportunities. Terrific lead pass.
Toronto leading by 16. The pass to Van Vliet. Passes it to Leonard. Here's the three. Count that one from Van Vliet. 12 points for him.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agendas.
And here's Moutier. Here's Robinson. Sinks that one from the post. Robinson's got 4 points this quarter.
Making a dent in this deficit. He's been on point tonight.
Wright, the pass to Siakam. Back to Wright. Leonard against Hardaway. 6 on the shot clock. Leonard inside. 18 points for him. Great D that time from Hardaway. Now here's Moutier, guarded by Wright. Moutier kicks to Vonleh. The basket good off the assist from Moutier. 8 points for Noah Vonleh.
He could have easily been selfish there and taken the shot, but he smartly kicked it out for a wide open look.
So timeout called here, the first for Toronto.
And they're committing an awful lot of fouls here, and not of the good variety. You don't want to give up easy layups, sure, but it's been a non-stop parade to the foul line.
And some changes here for the Raptors. Jonas Valanciunas comes in for Greg Monroe. And it's Green in for Leonard. Then for the Knicks, Lance Thomas comes in for Noah Vonleh. And Lee's subbed in for Trier. Here's Green, and it's Green with the jam.
You see the strength, the explosiveness of Danny Green. He's not just an outside shooter, folks.
Moutier with the ball. Kicks to Hardaway. From deep. And out of bounds as Toronto gains possession. Let's now pause to take a look at the scoring breakdown between the front and back court of tonight's contests for the Knicks.
And their guards really have done what they could to keep it close. What little offense they've been able to generate has come from the backcourt. They just need a little more balance.
Van Vliet passes to Valanciunas. 56 seconds left in the third. And he uses the glass on the layup. Valanciunas has got 8 points.
Up by a bunch. He's still pushing the action, trying to impose his will.
With this big of a deficit in the score, you think the losing team would be playing harder. Nope, the opposite.
And stolen by Wright. Fast break Toronto. Fires from 14. Offensive rebound. And the shot goes in from Siakam.
And after really leaning on that three-point shot in the first half, seeming like they're just getting away from it here in the second. More of the shots coming from the interior.
From about 19 feet, rebounded by Valanciunas. Valanciunas has got 4 rebounds in this game.
He's being aggressive, trying to turn around the team's fortunes, but he's having a hard time executing.
Bounce pass from Wright. Now, here's Valanciunas over Robinson. The 3 quarters of play all in the books, and this one all but over already. It's the Raptors delivering the blowout. We'll be back shortly, live from Toronto. And it's time now to bring you our State Farm assist of the game.
And the definition of teamwork right there, guys. I mean, what great communication between them, and what a beautiful feed.
Fundamental basketball. Keep your eyes up. Keep the ball moving. You're going to keep the defense on its heels.
Why you think they call me Yankee boy?
And there may not be a lot of drama down the stretch as we head into the fourth quarter, but stranger things have happened. Setting the floor for the Knicks. Moutier and Lee make up the backcourt. Lance Thomas out there with Robinson. And it's Hardaway in at the small forward position.
Yeah, just a simple one-hand flush.
I think he got a few more inches on his vertical by going with the spike. Here's Moutier, and Fred VanVleet is going to pick up the foul. That will be foul number 5 on him.
Just a little too aggressive. His 5th foul of the night. Expect them to go right at him to try to pick up number 6.
Toronto on defense, and Hardaway gets it to go.
He turned on the Jets. As soon as he got that screen and went right to the hole. Great decision making there.
And so Green will bring it up for Toronto. Here's VanVleet, covered by Lee. VanVleet kicks to Valanciunas. From the line, again Toronto.
Wow, has he flipped a switch at halftime. Much more effective here in the second half.
Moutier dishes to Robinson. Pass to Moutier. Smitty, every so often we'll hear about a team holding a players-only meeting. You've been there, I'm sure. You've gone through that. What exactly goes on in those discussions?
You know, Kevin, when you hear players-only meeting, something's going wrong with the team. Right. And obviously, we meet all the time, but when there's specific, in quotation, a players-only meeting, there's a lot of things that are going wrong with the team, with individuals, with the coaches or general managers. They are trying to find a way to hash it out, and those are never good.
The free throw good from Moutier. Both free throws good from Moutier. Here's VanVleet. And Siakam has it in the corner. Green deciding where to go with it. A floater. Robinson with the block. Now here's Moutier. He's tightly guarded. Dishes to Robinson. Left side, Thomas.
Yeah, the defender all over him.
Well, the NBA has had 3 referee crews for quite a while. Steve, do you think adding a 4th ref would help in any way?
No, I think it'll get a little bit crowded on the floor. I would love to see, I know they won't go back. I love the 2 referee situation. I look at it right now. Referee A calls a call. Referee B calls a call. It just feels like referee C has to make the next call or get up far as even with the other referees. I would love to see them go back to a 2 referee situation.
Leonard, he's checked in for Toronto. That misses, so he splits the free throws. Well, Smitty, we saw with Jonas Valanciunas, the Lithuanian big man, shooting more threes last season.
Valanciunas saw all the other centers in this league add a three-pointer and wanted in on the action as well. Only took about 1 a game, but he shot over 40%.
And so here is New York after the Raptors pick up 2. Outside Robinson, he kicks to Moutier. Shot clock at 6. Leonard with the steal. And it's Leonard with the jam.
You see, that is just rude. Kawhi picks it, triggers the fast break. See ya.
New York shooting an outstanding 53% for the game. Here's Moutier. It's hauled in by the Raptors. Valanciunas has got his 6th rebound on the night.
Solid rebound there, and with the score like it is, that's an area where they can't afford to get lazy.
Green finds Lowry. Off target from three-point range. Lowry's gone 2 of 8 from long range here. Right side Robinson, and he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. It's on Jonas Valanciunas. We hear the term empty stats every once in a while, Steve, usually referring to great production on a bad team. How valid do you think that theory is?
It is. A lot of guys you see are averaging, these numbers, and players look around, and the players you're saying, unfortunately for him, those numbers are empty stats because there are a lot of times these numbers are found and when the game is decided. And a lot of times on bad teams, you see these guys going for numbers. Then you get a chance to see them play on good teams, and those stats just don't match up.
Good explanation. Serge Ibaka has checked in for Pascal Siakam. Then for the Knicks, Mario Hezonja comes in for Hardaway, and Trey Burke subbed in for Moutier. No good on the second free throw. Toronto leading by 22. Leonard on the wing. Hezonja defending. Leonard the pass to Lowry. Good ball movement here by the Raptors. And then Leonard with the dunk.
And boy, Kawhi is the perfect target. The big reach to get to the pass and the great hands on the catch.
And that unleashed chaos replay presented by Under Armour. Hover Havoc, giving us a chance to relive that exciting play. Hezonja's shot is off.
And this is one of those times where the coach has got to preach, be unselfish.
And we don't know that he hasn't. Maybe it's been falling on deaf ears. Guys taking ill-advised jump shots.
Now here's Valanciunas over Robinson. Again, Toronto.
And this is something Valanciunas continues to work on, primarily a low post threat. He wants this jumper to become consistent.
Green against Lee. Back to Robinson. There's the dish to Lee. Good, and the assist goes to Robinson. Robinson's got 4 assists in the game.
I can't understand in the midst of a game you leave an elite shooter this wide open.
Now here's Leonard. Out to the right wing. Thomas against Ibaka. Shot clock at 6. Fouled in the act of shooting. Gets the bucket anyway, so a 3-point play chance for him.
And playing with the lead, you can see they're making a much more concerted effort to work the ball inside here in the second half.
Hey, Smitty, with Serge Ibaka, you can bet when the games matter the most, he's going to be locked in.
Yeah, he can be inconsistent during the regular season, but he has another gear he can shift to in the playoffs, and they need that from him. He gives you intensity on both ends, and he can stretch the floor.
One shot.
Smitty, you're looking around the league right now. Certain players extremely smart. Which guys do you think will make the transition the easiest from player to coach?
Some guys that stick out. Chris Paul, I think Mike Conley, LeBron James, obviously. Those guys, they just stick out. You can see their coaches on the floor, Draymond Green. They just have a way because they have those leadership qualities, and also they play the game the right way. They have such a good understanding and a good feel. Those are some of the guys that stand out for me.
That was a good list. You're right.
And the potential Anunoby has is exciting. Has the athleticism, the shooting touch, and the drive to keep improving.
And last season, a very strong rookie campaign, Greg, for OG Anunoby.
The team quickly learned that they could rely on him offensively. And it's rare to have a team trust someone taken 23rd overall that quickly. Surprised a lot of people with how efficient he was on offense right out of the gate. And I think you're going to see him continue to grow in that regard.
No good on the free throw. Trier, he's checked in for Trey Burke. So we can't get either to fall.
When you watch Anunoby play, he does so much well. Makes his teammates better. Not easy to do as a young wing player. He's a fantastic passer and does a very good job of reading the play.
Lasagna, but they'll get another chance. And he drops in the layup off the glass. Here's Lowry. Well, with Anunoby, so much of his impact, Steve, doesn't show up on the stat sheet.
Yeah, that passing from the wing is what will set OG Anunoby apart in his career. Already a strong defender, doesn't need to touch the ball to impact the game.
No other way to put it. Just a poor shooting performance for him, but luckily his teammates have picked up the slack.
Trier, that's good.
You get a chance to see the elite court vision there. Excellent pass.
Richardson kicks to Miles. At the elbow, it's Ibaka. Outside Lowry. A three ball. Connects from three-point range.
He is starting to build up a little confidence. Hit just 1 3 in the entire first half, but he has hit 2 more since then.
Lasagna, the pass to Hicks. Well, we've seen the growth of the G League, especially in how much it's been utilized for player development. A lot of guys going up to the NBA level. Steve, how do you think we'll see this evolve over the next 10 years?
I think the G League and this partnership with the NBA and teams has been fantastic. It's kind of similar to baseball right now in the minor leagues, and the teams have done a great job of having the flexibility to bring guys up and down. I love it for a lot of these young guys to get a chance to develop and also be a part of, I would say, the big team.
Excellent point. And the Raptors with some changes. Valanciunas, he's checked in for C.J. Miles. Leonard comes in for OG Anunoby. And it's Green in for Richardson. And New York with a change here, too. Robinson's checked in. Good on the second free throw. Now Lowry. To the paint. Ibaka finds Valanciunas.
Love the flush there from Valanciunas, leaving no doubt on that play.
For New York, they've gone 4 of 8 in this fourth quarter, shooting an even 50% from the field. Hazonia with the ball. Leonard's there, and there's the whistle on the shot. Took the foul, shot misses. He'll be shooting 2.
His 4th personal foul. At the line for the Knicks, Mario Hazonia.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
And he can't get the first one. Steve, looking around the league, name a few current players who you think will go down as the greatest in their franchise's history.
Well, the one name that comes to mind first is LeBron James. In several franchises he's played for. Also, Dirk Nowitzki, reason why he's a fantastic player. He's only been with one franchise, the Dallas Mavericks. I think Steph Curry. I think Russell Westbrook. And I think James Harden. Obviously, in Houston, you have Akeem Olajuwon. He has a chance if he can win the MVP and keep playing at this level for several more years.
Good examples. Now here's Powell. Pass to Leonard. Over Hazonia. Leonard dishes to Valanciunas. Back to Leonard. Oh, and the jam by Leonard.
Well, we know Leonard's an elite two-way machine, but there he shows us the artistry.
New York's gone 1 of 2 from three-point range here in the fourth. And now, here's Hazonia. He's covered by Leonard. Hazonia kicks to Baker. And the pass to Trier. Here's Hicks. It's stolen by Ibaka. And here is Powell. Outside Lowry. Just 5 to shoot. Fires the 3.
You know, a little off his game this quarter. Still trying to find a rhythm, though.
Here's Baker. Hicks kicks to Hezonja. New York moving the ball around. It's stolen by Valanciunas. Now here's Powell. Not a lot of room. Ibaka outside. We know a lot of NBA players take how they've been rated in a video game, Steve, personally. You've made digital appearances during your career. Did you ever have any issues with the ratings?
No, I didn't. And I think now these players, I grew up in this generation with video games, so yes, they take it personally. They understand,
yes,
and they're playing these games while they're in the NBA. So a lot of them, just like when the media is all over them, they want to have a say-so on how good they are, even in a video game.
And the Raptors making a change here. Van Vliet's checked in. Baker kicks to Thomas. Back to Baker. And the foul called on Kawhi Leonard. That's his 3rd foul so far. Bonus situation in effect, so we'll head to the free throw line for 2.
Line for the Knicks, Ron Baker. At the line for 2.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
He misses the free throw. He hits the second from the line. There's only the Basketball Hall of Fame that is shared among all basketball organizations, Steve. Do you think there should be an NBA Hall of Fame?
You know, Kevin, I do. I mean, I love the way we've done it, and obviously it's been successful. But, you know, the Basketball Hall of Fame is your entire body of work. And I think sometimes we don't understand that that's from high school, college level into the NBA. Whereas, you know, there's some guys are making it because of that, and there's some guys getting slighted because of that. So I do think one day we should just have the NBA Hall of Fame, just like the NFL.
Here's Cornette. Kawhi Leonard making his last shot.
And the one-hand slam just looks so pretty when it's in his hand and he's the one doing the slam.
Agreed. He is smooth as silk, even on a power finish. Here's Van Vliet, and Ron Baker gets the whistle that time. That is his 1st foul of the game.
Fouling like that isn't how you get back in the game.
Passes to Van Vliet. Here's Leonard. Oh, and the jam by Leonard.
I'll tell you what, when Kawhi knifes his way to the rim, it's next level.
The Knicks have gone 5 for 9 from the field in the final quarter so far. Here's Trier, guarded by Powell. It's stolen by Valanciunas. The wide open look here for Ibaka. Hits it from 3-point range. Ibaka's got 6 in the quarter.
And since halftime, they have been locked and loaded from beyond.
Yeah, forcing defenders to come out and guard them, which could open up driving lanes if they want to take advantage of that.
And out of bounds as Toronto gains possession. And so it's Leonard with it. He'll bring it up for Toronto.
And as we head to the final buzzer here, a crushing blowout. Big-time dominance, and this will go in the record books as a gaudy win for the Raptors.
It was a standout performance across the board.
I mean, it was like watching a cat play with a mouse. They were able to do more or less whatever they wanted.
And now, for the year, this is going to take him to 7 wins.
And against a conference opponent, always good to take that first win of the season series to establish a psychological edge.
And one of the league's top talents, game in and game out. And doing it here again in this one. A terrific night for Kawhi Leonard.
You know, the story of this game was his offensive production. It didn't matter what the defense threw at him. He just found ways to counter and led his team.
And just putting the finishing touches on this one, they have been on fire.
I mean, a fantastic run. The guys are really clicking, and the scoreboard reflects that.
Baker passes to Cornette. Here's Trier, guarded by Powell. Bucket is good. There's 31 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Van Vliet kicks to Valanciunas. Back to Van Vliet. It's hauled in by Cornette.
And forcing the miss there, he just knows how to pressure you defensively.
And also protecting the rim at all costs. I love the anticipation to affect the shot.
And so Toronto takes this one, but by a big margin. They won this game going away. They were the better basketball team by far tonight.
And you got to commend this sort of dominance, particularly here at home. It's a great feeling when you play almost a perfect game and to have that crowd be so pumped up.
And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thank you, Kevin. Danny, a strong defensive effort both individually and team. Now, how comfortable are you at that end of the floor now, knowing that you can make things tough on the opposition?
Well, we want to make them take tough shots. We're not comfortable at any point defensively, but we got to continue to be active and be aggressive and get our hands on loose balls.
It's been the mark of the Spurs for a long time, Danny. Thanks. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, great job. Thanks so much. Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now. For Greg Anthony, Steve Smith, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. So long and good night, everyone.